Hey everyone, it's Bryan. My amateur radio call sign is November Mike 7 Charlie. I'm on the road this week working, and I'm going to operate my station remotely, and we'll have a QSO with W6 Alpha Delta Zulu. And yeah, I'm running a remote connection to my Yaesu FTDX10 radio with an HF antenna running at home in Oregon City, Oregon. And I'm traveling in Boardman, Oregon this week using hotel Wi-Fi to operate. So come along with me, come check it out. Is this frequency in use? Is this frequency in use? November Mike 7 Charlie. Is this frequency in use? Is this frequency in use? November Mike 7 Charlie. Is this frequency in use? Is this frequency in use by anyone, anywhere? November Mike 7 Charlie. CQ80, CQ80 meters, CQ80 meters, November Mike 7 Charlie calling CQ80, CQ80, CQ80 meters, CQ80 meters, November Mike 7 Charlie. CQ80, CQ80 meters, CQ80 meters, November Mike 7 Charlie calling CQ80, CQ80, CQ80 meters, CQ80 meters, November Mike 7 Charlie. CQ80, CQ80, CQ80 meters, November Mike 7 Charlie calling CQ80, CQ80, November Mike 7 Charlie. I hear somebody way down on the noise again, way down on the noise. I think it was a Whiskey 6. Try again. No, I'm sorry, my friend. I don't think we're going to be able to make it. It's just too weak. Sorry, you want to try one last time? November Mike 7 Charlie. Yeah, I'm sorry, my friend. It's going to be no contact. It's just too weak. So sorry. Good evening. Thanks for coming back to my call. 7-3. CQ80, CQ80 meters, CQ80, CQ80, November Mike 7 Charlie calling CQ80, CQ80, CQ80 meters, November Mike 7 Charlie. CQ80, CQ80, CQ80 meters, CQ80 meters, November Mike 7 Charlie. CQ80, CQ80 meters, CQ80 meters, CQ80 meters, CQ, November Mike 7 Charlie. CQ80, CQ80 meters, CQ80 meters, November Mike 7 Charlie calling CQ80, CQ80, CQ80 meters, November Mike 7 Charlie.
November Mike 7 Charlie, Whiskey 6 Alpha Delta Zulu.
There we go, Whiskey 6 Alpha Delta Zulu. Hello from November Mike 7 Charlie. Now you're a strong 5'9", sir.
Wow, what a difference in a little tuning can do. I was tuned up for the digital end of the band and the CW part of the band, and the WR was about 10 to 1. And so I just retuned the antenna tuner to bring it down to 1 to 1. And apparently that made all the difference. The name here is Gerald, Delta Alpha Romeo, Romeo Echo Lima Lima. I'm in Reno, Nevada, I don't hardly ever get on the radio on voice, but I heard you calling CQ, and I thought I'd just give it a shot here this evening. Back to you, November 57 Charlie, W6ADZ.
Well, hey, Daryl, it's nice to meet you, sir. My name's Bryan, Bravo, Romeo, Yankee, Alpha, November. My radio station is in Oregon City, Oregon, and I'm operating remotely. I'm in Boardman, Oregon, in Eastern Oregon, doing some work this week. So I'm actually operating remotely on here. Thank you so much for coming back to my call. I don't typically get on 80 meters either and call CQ, but I'm glad I did. I actually got somebody to respond at 11 something at night, so I appreciate it. You sound certainly much better after tuning that antenna up. Definitely sound much better. At my house here, I'm running a Yaesu FTDX10 at 100 watts, and I have an inverted V Alpha Delta DXCC inverted fan dipole up at 33 feet. What are you running? Over.
Yeah, very fine, Bryan. Well, my antenna is a dipole, and it's laying on the roof of my home at 18 feet at the highest point. And the half of the antenna is laying on the roof, I should say, and runs down the side of the roof on an angle so that the end of the half of the leg, which is about 60 feet long, it ends up about 9 feet off the ground. And the other half of the antenna, a quarter wave of wire, goes out to a tree, straight out, and then down to a fence at about 6 feet off the ground. So it's not much of an antenna. My rig is a Kenwood TS2000 that I got back in the year 2006 used. I bought it as a used radio, but it's in pretty good shape, hasn't ever deteriorated at all in all the time. And I use it mostly for working satellite, using the digital input controlled by a computer program. So it's very rarely used in the voice mode with the microphone. So this is a rare occurrence for me. I probably haven't been on the air on single sideband voice in 3 or 4 years, maybe. Anyway, glad to get this thing working here on single sideband. Like I say, it was tuned up to about 3580 through an antenna tuner. So when I got up here to 3840, it was just a terrible match to the antenna. So actually, it's not a very good match to the antenna because the antenna actually is tuned towards the bottom end of the band. So it's going through a antenna tuner to tune up the reactance, making the radio happy anyway. NM7C. This is Whiskey 6 Alpha Delta Zulu.
Yep, Whiskey 6 Alpha Delta Zulu, November, Mike 7 Charlie. Yeah, fine copy on all that. I also have a TS2000 that I haven't used in a couple of years. And I'm really into doing the satellites, like really into doing that. I have an ICOM IC9700 with a SAT controller from CSN Technologies, a Yaesu G5500 DC rotor, and then a couple of Yagis in the backyard. If you check out my QRZ page, you'll see that satellite operating is my absolute favorite ham radio activity. So you sound like you play on the radio on satellite as well, yes?
Yes, I have. In fact, that's what got me started. The reason to get the TS2000 at that particular time, that was in the year 2006, I purchased this radio specifically to set up a a school contact with the International Space Station, which I did in May of 2006. And I had a different setup at that time. I used two computers. One computer was driving the T5500 rotator. I had a home brew circular polarized Yaesu. Well, not a Yaesu. It was using circular full wave elements, and there was 5 of them. One of them was actually a 2-turn helix with one of the loops as a reflector and 3 loops in the director. So a total of 5 elements. It had about, I still have the antenna. It's got about a 10 dB gain. And had that up on top of a school classroom, held down by a bunch of sandbags on a patio stand for an umbrella as a base, and the rotator up about 5 feet, and the antenna on that. And I also had another station set up in my house so that I could get the station a little earlier in the orbit. And then I switched from one radio to the other so that we could extend the contact out for about 10 minutes. And it worked out really great. All 20 students got to talk to the commander of the International Space Station, and it was a real fun activity. It took me 3 years working through the NASA and what's the organization that does the school contacts? I forgot.
Just AMSAT, right?
And it was a perfect contact. Everything went just fine. Anyway, that's long enough of a transmission. Back to you, Bryan. NM7C W6ADZ.
Well, that's awesome, man. I've made thousands of satellite QSOs, but I've never done an official one via the school. How did you do that? How did you get involved? Did you know somebody at the school who asked you to do it? Or did you go to them proposing to set that up? Over.
Well, actually, it was a very young man at the school, and he had just done his license, and he heard about the program through the ARRL to set up contact with the International Space Station. And he actually was the one that inspired me to get set up on that. And I looked into it, studied about it, and built the equipment, the rotator, and bought the rotator, and built the antennas. I built a homebrew controller, and I used a couple of programs. One of them was called Nova, I think, and I forget the other one. I had 2 computers, one running each program, one for the radio, one for the rotator. And what I use now is SAT-PC32, which does everything. It controls the TS-2000 and the G5500 rotator all in on one computer, one program. So works very well. And I haven't done it for a couple of years now, but I used to do the satellites for quite a few years. And just, I guess I lost interest in it over time. I still have it all set up here. I can still set it up anytime I want and do that. So I've made many contacts on all different kinds of satellites in all modes, and it's quite an interesting hobby. Anyway, that's my story. Back to you, Bryan, W6ADZ.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I used that PC32 for a while. I was using a rotator from this school amateur radio club in Australia. So I used that PC32 for a couple of years, and I really liked it. A little bit of a learning curve with that program because not all the menu options are super obvious, and not all the choices are super obvious up front. But um, when I bought my ICOM IC9700, I bought that CSN Technologies SAT controller. Man, that thing is awesome. That thing is super awesome. That little box, it just one cable connects to your radio, one cable connects to your antenna rotor, and then you get a web interface to click on and to log and to control everything. And it's just awesome. It's probably my absolute favorite accessory for ham radio. Have you heard of that controller before? The SAT controller, over?
Well, no, I can't say I have. Um, my controller is a home brew, one that I built from a article in QST written by a friend of mine who lives in California. Trying to think of his call sign now, but he designed it, and a company built a printed circuit board, which I purchased, and then I bought all the components and soldered them all together, and it's got a little program you had to load into one of the chips that runs the program, converts the digital signal from the computer to the analog input to the 55 rotor. It works just great. It's got four little LED lights on the front that tell you what it's doing, and in a little square pattern, and they're marked up, down, left, and right. Or no, I'm sorry, up, down, and counterclockwise and clockwise. I guess that's, yeah, okay. So one's the elevation, one's the azimuth. So the azimuth is the one marked counterclockwise and clockwise. Okay. So one showing you when it's turning counterclockwise, the other one shows when it's turning clockwise. And the other two buttons, which are on the top and bottom, show up and down. So that's the elevation. Anyway, that works, and it still works just fine. And I use it to point it in different directions. I'm just using it as a rotator right now, for the most part, because I have a Yaesu on the antenna right now, on the rotator. And I've got both UHF and VHF Yaesus on there. They're both Yaesus right now. I don't have a circular polarized antenna on either one of them, but it still works for all the fine just the way it is. One horizontally polarized and the other one vertically polarized. Anyway, that's kind of it. We've gone through a number of different computers over the years, but they still work with the PC32 and NM7C W6ADZ.
W6ADZ, November, Mike 7 Charlie. Well, very cool, Daryl. That's awesome, man. There's so many people who do homebrew stuff. And I'm just so in awe sometimes of how people put together all these electronic circuits and do doodads all together. So very cool. If you ever get a chance and you're bored, go on YouTube and search for my call sign, November Mike 7 Charlie, and you can see me operating on some videos with the SAT controller, and maybe you can judge for yourself if it's a cool product or not. But I would definitely check it out. I mean, you have a setup that's working, so you don't need anything. But if you're just curious, give me a look up on YouTube and let me know what you think. So, okay, Daryl. Well, I have to go do a couple of work things before I head off to bed. It's 11:30 here, so I'm actually traveling in Eastern Oregon this week, working, and yeah, I'm gonna go hop off and take care of a couple things before I go to bed here. So, I'll send it back to you for a final. And thanks again for coming back to my call, Daryl. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, very fine, Bryan. And yeah, if you go to what's that? QSL,
QRZ?
QRZ. If you go to QRZ and look up my call sign there, W6ADZ, there's a photo of my actual station as it is right now, and showing the satellite setup there, and a little brief description of that same contact I was referring to with the school. It was McLean High School here in Reno, and since the high school is right in the foothill of a mountain called Mount Peavine, which is just on the northwest side of the school, and it presented a problem with getting the signal in the toward the International Space Station when it hit the horizon, because it was about a 10-degree angle before it would clear the top of the mountain. It went straight over the peak of the mountain, so the signal wouldn't hit the ground at the school until it was up about 10 degrees above the horizon. So I set up another station at my house, which is clear across south of Reno, and I got a low angle at the horizon while the space station was ascending from the horizon. And so I built a UHF link between the house and the school, and I just pointed the antenna at the horizon. Same antenna. I built two identical antennas, and the other station was just fixed a dual band transceiver in the dual band mode, so that I could use UHF as a link, and then of course the space station was on VHF. And so I started the contact out for the first minute, a little over a minute on that setup, and then I switched over to the one up at the school, which had the rotator and contracted all the way across the sky to the other horizon. Anyway, that's enough of that for now, and thanks a lot for the contact, Bryan. And yeah, this is my first contact on sideband. It was just a general contact in several years, because I'm very, very active in AREF here, and that's what I do most of the time. 7-3, good evening, and thanks for the contact, Bryan. NM7C, W6ADZ.
All right, Daryl. Hey, thanks a lot, man. Hey, I'm really glad that you jumped on HF, and I've really enjoyed talking with you for a while here, man. Thank you. Like I said, I'm traveling for work, and this is being able to operate remotely is awesome. Helps sort of break some of the loneliness you get out working on the road. So really appreciate you, man. Really nice to talk to you. I hope I come across you again. And yeah, I'll let you go for the evening, man. I really appreciate talking to you again, and have a great evening. W6ADZ, November Mike 7 Charlie. 7-3, bud.
7-3, Bryan, and that remote setup works really well. W680, that's good.
Roger, Roger, 7-3. And before I hop off, was anyone monitoring? Anyone want to jump in before I hop off? November Mike 7 Charlie. All right, November Mike 7 Charlie. I'll be clear. 7-3 all.